everyone, and welcome. I welcome you all to the platform of Education Nest. I am Khushi Mishra, and today I'll be your host for this session, turning connections into clients. LinkedIn. LinkedIn has become a key platform for corporate visibility, trust building, and client acquisition. Interesting, right? So, to help us understand how to use it more strategically, we have with us Miss Amy Jamal, who will who is a personal branding strategist who has helped professionals, startups, and even many service providers to attract global clients using her signature 5 A's framework. Today, Amy will walk us through recognizing the right audiences, positioning before pitching, building trust based conversations, and follow up strategies, along with an introduction to her framework. Hello, Amy. Welcome to the webinar.
Hello, Kushi, and thank you, Education Nest, for having me in here. It's an honor, actually, from my side to be present here and be able to educate people.
Thank you. So, before starting the session, I would like to introduce you all to Miss Amy.
Yeah, so I am Amy Jamal. I am a personal branding strategist. I have been working as a personal branding strategist for founders, coaches, and startups since September. So, how I help my clients build their visibility in LinkedIn is through organic growth. So, am I allowed to share the screen now, Kushi?
Uh, Amy, wait a second. You have introduced yourself, but I would like to introduce myself again.
Yeah, sure.
So, Miss Amy Jamal, an MBA graduate from Dilbrook University with a specialization in marketing and HR and a BBA in business administration. Amy is a personal branding strategist who partners with founders, service providers, and corporate teams to strengthen their digital presence and enhance client engagement on LinkedIn. She's the creator of the 5 A's framework, a proven system she used to grow an active LinkedIn audience and secure clients across Belgium, USA, Dubai, and India within just 2 months. Today, Amy applies the same framework to help corporates position their leaders efficiently, build trust driven communication, and convert professional connections into business opportunities. We are excited to have you all here. Now, Amy, over to you.
Thank you for the lovely introduction, Kushi. The pleasure is all mine actually to be here and be able to educate people on LinkedIn.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I will be sharing my screen now.
Yeah, definitely. Is it visible, Amy?
Okay, thank you.
Now you can start. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Kushi.
Thank you.
So, today I want to talk about how we can turn connections into clients. And firstly, I would like to mention why this topic actually matters. Because as students and as youths, I have seen a lot of students struggling to get a stable job just because they do not see the opportunities that are right in front of them. LinkedIn is one such gem that people are unable to identify. I, being a personal branding strategist, I have worked with coaches, founders, and startups from USA, Belgium, Dubai, as well as India. And what I found is most founders, they have a lot of good content, they have expertise in their fields, but they fail to be recognizable in the platform just because they have a lack of positioning. And they really do not understand actually how LinkedIn works. They go for algorithm, they blame the algorithm, but that is absolutely not true. So I organically built my own audiences from scratch. I built my LinkedIn from scratch since September, and since then I have been able to pitch around 4 clients. So today we think that networking is we we think that networking does not value, but it is actually one of the reasons why growth matters. So let's delve into why this session is actually very important. So, as a personal branding strategist, a lot of time people have actually asked me if what I do is marketing. Now, we must actually realize that marketing and branding are totally different things. Not completely, of course, in branding, we use the tools of marketing, but in branding, you build your own voice, you build the trust, you recognize your audiences, and you build and you position yourself in a way so that people are able to come back to you again. In marketing, of course, we know we promote a product or a service, but in branding, you're promoting yourself. So, why this session actually matters is because most of us are treating our LinkedIn as a resume. Now, of course, this is quite relatable to a lot of students. Like, even when I was a student back in June, I was treating LinkedIn as something where I thought that it was a platform that is used to hire and get hired. I used to think that companies, they would post jobs, and the one who need them would just apply for it and get hired. That's exactly what I thought LinkedIn is. But then again, I was applying for jobs, and somehow my application started getting rejected. Now, why that happened? Because I did not have a proper positioning. I didn't know how to position myself. My bio was vague. It was filled with my degrees and not enough proof and credibility as of what I do. I was applying for HR, marketing, and content writer jobs, but there were no and not enough proofs that I was skilled enough for those jobs. So that is a mistake every one of us tend to make as a student. So in LinkedIn, there are a lot of people searching for your skill. You just need to position yourself as someone who is worthy enough of getting that job. Then again, you are connecting with a lot of people. Now, I would like to give an example of one of my clients. He had a hedge fund. He's based in Dubai. He was starting a hedge fund as a startup, and he had the expertise. He had enough knowledge in trading and related domains, in financial markets, in equity markets, in cryptocurrencies as well. But somehow his contents were not converting. He was not getting the right connections. And when I actually audited his profile, I went through his connections, and then I checked that most of his connections were people from the marketing and branding domain. Now, of course, branding and marketing domain are not related to the financial market. And someone who would like to purchase his financial analysis or related services, that person has to be a trader or someone from that particular domain. So what I did is I filtered out his connections, and although his followers dropped down a bit, but then again, that was an organic drop down. We really did not have someone, vague audiences who will not convert you. Then we must realize that the problem is not the leads. We often tend to blame the algorithm these days, that the algorithm is not converting, you are not able to generate enough leads because of the algorithm, but that is actually not the problem. The problem is with your profile. It's with how you showcase yourself to the audiences. It's how you showcase yourself to your targeted clients. It's how you conversate with them. You must realize that, when you just directly pitch someone, like I have a lot of connections who pitch me directly for any service. So when you do that, of course, you are not building trust. You are actually being spammy in their DMs. And then follow up, because why follow up is important, because of course life happens, people get engaged, people get busy, and they are needed a reminder for your service. So that is the reason why follow up is very important. So this is the agenda for today's session. So what I shall be covering is recognizing the right audiences, positioning before pitching, conversation and trust building, some of my personal case studies as well as my clients, My signature 5 A's framework that I have used with myself and now I use with my clients as well. And then, of course, I'm up for all the Q&A questions that the audiences might have. So let's delve into the first, recognizing the right audiences and why most people fail. So let me give you an example. You are a service provider in LinkedIn. Suppose you are a marketer or you are a branding strategist. Now you must realize that your target audiences are not everyone. You cannot go for someone who has the right positioning, who is selling their products without any help, and you just cannot go and pitch them. So I have seen that most people, even in my DMs as well, I have seen that there are a lot of marketers who come to me and they ask me if I am willing to purchase their service, if I am willing to purchase their ghostwriting services or their marketing services or their branding services. But then, of course, I tell them that that is exactly what I do. So you need a really right positioning. You really need to target the right audiences for that because of course I am not your target audience because I am selling the same things as you are. So that is one of the biggest problem with everyone, especially for the founders and coaches who niche down their audiences, who niche down their clients. suppose you are Suppose you are a interior designer. You are someone who built exquisite and elite interior designs. So you must recognize your audiences will not be someone or your clients will not be someone who is, you know, someone who comes from the elite background, someone who is into luxury interiors. So that is exactly where most people tend to fail. Then again, they chase likes, impressions, and not buyers. Now, this is a very common problem with every LinkedIn creator. I have seen that this chase for likes and impressions is insane. Of course, likes and impressions matter. They build your credibility, they make people trust you. But are likes or impressions bringing you clients? Of course, they are not. You can have 10K followers. Like recently, I was researching some founders' profiles and I found this person. He was into chartered accounting and he was providing services as well. He had around 65K followers. But when I scrolled down and I checked his post, he barely had one or two likes. But somehow I believe he had clients and that is the reason why he was building and he was growing actually. So yes, likes and impressions, they are good. I'm not saying they're not good. They are absolutely good to build your credibility, to build your identity in a platform. But then again, if the likes and impressions are not converting, then I do not think that they're worth it. And then you don't filter out your audiences. Now the same example with my client, the Dubai based one. He really didn't have much idea about what whom he was trying to target. He was engaging with people from the marketing and branding domain. Now marketing and branding people, they are creators, right? They are bound to connect with you, they are bound to engage with you, but they will not purchase your service. Why would someone who is not into the trading domain, who does not trade or who does not want your financial or technical analysis services, would purchase something for you? Now, for that, you must know how to filter out your audiences. You must also know how to filter out audiences based on your locations. Like a lot of people, it also happened with me as well when I first started LinkedIn and I had no idea. I didn't really have much idea about location thing or how actually LinkedIn worked. And what happened is I was connecting with people and most of my audiences where somehow they became from Nigeria. They all somehow located in Nigeria, and that kind of broke my feed. And I was supposed to target the Indian audiences for my engagement and the foreign ones for as my clients. So, filtering out your audiences is one of the most underrated but important points that most creators tend to ignore. Now, moving on to the next slide. Who is your high potential client? Now, again, this somehow comes up with recognizing your audiences. Who is a client? Of course, we all know the definition of client. A client is someone who is supposed to purchase your services, who has a need, and who has the budget to invest for your service. Now, you cannot just go about pitching anyone randomly in the air and blame the algorithm or blame your pitching strategy, because it is the first important thing while pitching is to recognize a client, especially a high potential client. So, a high potential client has this following qualities. He has a clear problem that he is unable to solve on his own, a problem that can be solved only by you. He has a budget, of course. He is willing to pay. Like I've seen, there are a lot of clients who wants to take up services for free. So it's very important that you clearly talk about the budget, or if you understand that if the person is trying to invest or not, and they have an urgency to solve. So a high potential client is someone who has a very urgent need to solve this problem, who wants to build visibility, who wants to gain clients as soon as possible, not someone who just wants to wait and check if things will work or not. So, why is it important to position yourself before pitching, and why cold pitching fails? Now, then again, I have seen this with myself as well. When I was new on LinkedIn, I would drop a DM to a founder or a coach, and I would ask them about what they do, and then I start pitching them. Of course, most of my DMs went ignored or they clearly refused it. So when you are cold pitching, you really don't, the person must have trust on you. And cold pitching does not have trust, authority, context, and of course, it looks very spammy. Like there are a lot of marketing people in LinkedIn who wants to sell their services. And why would a client go for your service and not someone else's? So, how you position yourself is very important before you start pitching. As for me, I pitched a founder. She was into the IT domain, and I pitched her back when I was still working as an intern under a personal branding strategist, and I had a very vague profile. I had no clear positioning. I had no bio, I had no headline, I had no post. And I just went on and pitched her for ghostwriting for her profile. And she asked me for my portfolio, which of course I didn't have during that time. And then, of course, she clearly refused it very politely. She refused and turned me down. And then I started thinking that what is the problem? Am I the problem? Is my pitching not good enough? And why is it that she's turning me down and not, and how are other creators getting clients after clients? Because as for me, I research a lot of creators profiles. I go through their profiles, I read their posts, I learn about their testimonials, I read their client stories as well. And then it makes me wonder that where am I going wrong? Is something not good enough with my content? Is something not good enough with my profile? But then again, I realized that the problem was not me, it was the positioning, of course. And cold pitching, of course, it skips trust because people don't buy services, they are buying your confidences and clarity. And when you pitch without positioning, you look very desperate instead of credible. And credibility is only built through what you can showcase the people online or through your portfolio or through your testimonials. So, this is my personal case study. So, you can see this is a before and after of my own profile. This was the before section, the one in the left. This was my profile back in June to July, I guess, before I optimized myself. So you can see the first profile, I don't have a clear headline. I have all my degrees listed out as if that would get me clients, but of course, it usually doesn't. My profile picture is very cluttered. My face is not visible. And I have this banner open to work, which looks really desperate, to be honest. Uh, it's something that we tend to, if I have seen a lot of creators put this banner in their profile, open to work. If you're a freelancer or if you are someone who wants to give their services, your profile is enough. Your profiles, your contents, your testimonials, your portfolios are enough. You do not really need to have as an open to work banner in your profile picture because that makes it looks really desperate. And then again, I have too many details about my degrees, which of course didn't help. And I had no banner. My background was blank. So, and the second picture is the after section. After this is a very recent screenshot actually of my profile. I clicked it yesterday actually, and this is after I optimized my profile. So you can see the difference very clearly, I think. My second picture, I have a profile picture where I'm clear. I have listed down my services pretty well. Personal branding strategies for your brand, finance storyteller. So yes, finance storyteller, that is something that comes from long back because I come from a finance background and I want to write for finance founders, traders. But then again, I thought not to niche down my services and now I go for every uh, founders and coaches. Uh, and then creating contents that convert and generate lead. You must be clear about what you are providing because a lot of people they do not buy your service only for visibility and engagement. Leads are something that the ones who will take up your service need, be it a founder or a coach or a company or a startup. Leads are something that they look for. And then I had a very clear banner and my niche was pretty clear that I was a personal branding strategist for brands. I had a direct CTA, like book a free audit call. I was that is very clearly mentioned in my banner. And I had proof of my work. I had a portfolio in the featured section. I had testimonials. I had reviews as well. So yeah, what differentiates this profile from the after profile is, of course, it's pretty clear, right? Anyone who sees my profile would definitely go for the second one. The first one, no matter how skilled, how talented, how qualified I am, is not providing any proof of work, any credibility on my side. But the after profile tends to showcase and makes my profile look a bit serious, actually. So, yeah, let's go to the next slide. So, yes, these are some statistics of my LinkedIn profile. Now, why I'm sharing this statistics is because, of course, this is needed. No matter how much I say that impressions and engagements don't really matter if they don't convert, but somehow they are required. So you can see here that my content performance actually, the graph went up after I optimized and positioned myself as a personal branding strategist in LinkedIn. And I had around 29K impressions, which was 81,783% more prior to my profile a year ago. Then my engagements started growing. People from different domains, people from creators, founders started engaging with me. And this was something that I never really expected because when I made my first post in September 25, I still remember the date, of course. And I was asking my friends to just, go and comment in my post because I was very much sure that that my contents will not generate engagements. Because I used to be a creator in Instagram as well, reviewing books, and I knew how hard it was to bring in engagements and make people connect with you or engage with you through the comment section. But somehow, when I started posting consistently and when I started posting uh, contents that were helpful, people from different backgrounds started connecting with me. And then again, there's another secret. You have to engage yourself in order to get engagement back. It's more like a reciprocation. You have to engage with people a few hours before and a few hours after you post something. That is a secret. I don't think most creators would tell you, but that is really very important. Now, here we have conversation and trust building and why sales doesn't happen in first DM. So, let me give you an example. You are a service provider. You are very good at what you do. You have an expertise in your field. But somehow you are pitching clients and you're pitching in the first DM. And do you think someone you talk to for the first time will agree to purchase your service? Well, of course, if you're lucky enough, if the person is generous enough, that's a totally different case. But somehow he doesn't know you. He don't know what you do. He don't know if you're genuine enough, if you're credible enough. And then you pitch him in the first DM. So, and he turns you down. Then, of course, you will be blaming yourself. You will be blaming your DM. You will be blaming your work and your skills. You will be, most importantly, blaming what you do. And you'll think that what I am doing is not converting, so this is not good enough. But that is not the case. So one must realize that the first DM must be trust building. So when you are DMing a founder or a coach, you need to build his trust. You must understand his needs. You must understand what he does and what problem he's facing and how you can solve it. The second DM must be value. You must showcase your value and you must make him understand how and in what ways you are going to help him out. That way, of course, he will most likely show an interest in your services, and you need to give him proof, right, of what you can give him and how you can solve his problems. The third aim is, of course, clarity. So you must be clear about what you are going to provide him and how that would help him up in his problem solving because of course why would someone purchase something from a provider who is all cluttered and scattered? Then comes the offer. Of course, at last you offer him. So you build trust, you ask him what he does, you try to understand his problem, you try to make him understand how your skill will help him solve that problem or how your services are going to help him solve the problem. And then you provide your offer. And this is a very strategic way to pitch someone. And it's really important that you understand because otherwise, if you are providing your services, they tend to look very spammy if you just pitch in the first meeting. Then this is the trust building formula that I built, and it actually works in every conversation. So when you are how to build trust among your clients. So, first, you listen deeply to them. You listen to what they do, you listen to what they are building, you listen to whom they require to target and what problem they're facing in their field. And then you ask the right questions. You ask him, like, what is your main goal? Are you more focused on building visibility? Are you more focused on getting engagement? Or are you focused more on getting clients for your business? And then you'll have a very clear picture of what he wants from you and how you can help him with it. Then mirror their pain, of course. Every founder is having one or the other pain that he wants someone to solve. Now, again, we tend to think that services will be turned down anywhere, but that is not true. There are people searching for someone to solve their problems. There are people searching for someone to help with their pain. And if you position yourself in the right way, you will be the person solving their problem. And then give clarity before offer. So before uh, before someone wants to purchase your services, of course, they would like to hear your solution because, of course, people will only buy when they feel they're understood. So ask questions, listen deeply, mirror their struggles. Only then do they even want to hear your solution. Uh, then again, this is a mini case study of one of my clients, Yi Wang. I had to take Yi's permission to showcase his profile in this webinar, and he was actually very enthusiastic about it. He was very happy when I told him that I will be providing his profile as a case study for this webinar, and he asked me to share insights as well. So unfortunately, I actually do not have his initial profile screenshots because I was very excited when I started working with him. So I absolutely forgot to take screenshots. So yes, Hee Wang is a founder of Check It Analytics. It is an AI-based research platform for equity analysis of the US equity market. So when I first talked to Yi, uh, we discussed his problems, and he told me that Check It is providing uh, Wall Street level research, great research to every retail traders. But however, he is unable to bring in more clients. Of course, he had clients. He had around 100 clients, but they were under the free trial basis, and he was unsure about how many would continue after the free trial ends. So when I audited E's profile, I realized that he had good contents. He had good expertise. I also checked his website, and the website was absolutely good. But somehow his bio, his headlines did not align with what he worked with, and somehow people were not taking that seriously. So what I helped E with is profile optimization was the first thing that I did for him. So when I optimized this profile, I made a clearer and more enhanced banner for him. I uh, I asked him what he wanted me to write about in it, and I clearly mentioned the offer that he was giving off, that is 90 days free trial. I mentioned the website. And before that, he only had a banner that was only Check Its logo, which of course didn't make it look very serious at first. Then I made him a content strategy. I made a content calendar for him. Now, what is a content calendar? Of course, if you're not a creator and if you're unaware about content creation, then content calendar is a calendar that we make as creators, where we drop down the topics that we will be writing about, the hooks, the content types as well. So I built him a content calendar and I made sure to include storytelling style contents in it, including his personal stories as a data scientist and how he faced problems himself as a retail investor because there were not enough affordable platforms for retail traders to trade. Then I connected and engaged. Now, with connecting and engaging, of course, I connected with people who are most likely to purchase his services. Now, who are those people? Those people are retail traders, of course. Then recently, he had a interview with some of the doctors, and he told me that doctors tend to trade a lot. So now those doctors are also our targeted audiences. And then I engaged. Now, of course, engagement also has a strategy. You cannot engage with just anyone and expect them to engage back, because what he is providing is a very niche down service. It is only targeted to traders and people from the financial domain, and of course, someone from interior designing or IT or branding, marketing might not be interested in what he's providing. So what I did is I made a list of all the retail traders as well as people who might be interested in his services, and I engaged with them. And then I offered the service. Now, the pitching. The pitching part, the lead generation part, of course, is one of the toughest in branding because a lot of people tend to say that because you do not have a clear funnel and you don't really know how to pitch, you don't really know how you are providing the services. Then there's this. So I made sure that I have a 3 to 5 days conversation with the potential clients. And of course, there was zero hard pitch. Like you cannot and you should not force someone to purchase your services. So I gave them a soft pitch and I understood their and tried to understand their needs. Like what are their needs, what problems they face while trading. Because a lot of retail investors who are only starting, especially the students, uh, trading is quite popular these days among the students. And students, as they have low budget, they tend to feel that they are not getting enough fundamental analysis or research because, of course, the Wall Street level researches are very high and they cannot afford it. So he was providing that in just $5, and that was how we were supposed to help him up. Yes. Then the follow up message. So why follow up message is important, and follow up is in itself a strategy because when you follow up, because when you message someone and they promise to check your profile or they promise to check your services out, and then of course life happens and they tend to forget. So follow up is a reminder that you give those people, and so that they so because they might be your potential clients, but due to life and all the happenings that happen around them, they tend to forget. And of course, a follow up message is more like a reminder. Custom solution offered, and then the smooth close. So these are some of the results. These are some of the screenshots that were being shared to me by E. So after following the strategy and the whole pitching formula, he had users register to his site, and there were also people who were appreciating his work. And these are some of the testimonials from his clients as well. And they actually liked the platform. So now we must understand that for E, his profile, his platform was not the real issue. His real issue was actually his profile. Because when I checked the platform, I realized that it was providing really good services to retail investors and at a very, very affordable price. But however, he was invisible to his potential clients. He was invisible because he was not posting consistently. And of course, he did not have enough time for that. and he was not positioning himself as a founder. He and his profile was not looking serious enough for retail investors to come and invest in it, or he was also searching for fundraising, and there were not enough angel investors doing that for him because of how he positioned himself. So this was one of uh, the reasons why he was unable to attract many clients for himself. And then again, his content engagement and impressions went up after I optimized and started engaging consistently. Now, uh, now we must understand that follow-ups are very important part of every branding strategy. Now, why are they important? Because most people don't say no, they say later, or they tend to say that, yes, I will check it out, and you don't really know if they did or not. So, follow ups are not nagging. We tend to feel that we are being pushy when we follow up, but no, follow up done in the right way is not nagging. It is actually a very professional reminder to let people know that, to remind them that whether they have checked it out or not. So, when now smart follow up can be done in different ways. So, when you do a smart follow up, you usually share your value. You tend to give them a reminder, and you can ask social proof and a soft decision question. And some of the follow up mistakes that most creators or founders make is they try to be pushy, or they try to pressurize the potential clients, and they keep on nagging them with the same repeated message, which of course looks very spammy. And of course, it tends to kill the interest that they might have. So with that, the follow up have come to now. I would like to discuss the 5 A's framework for LinkedIn growth that I myself have used for my own personal account. Uh, this was the framework I actually built for myself in order to grow, and the growth is really organic if with this framework. And now I use it for my clients as well to grow their profiles and to generate leads and build content strategies for them. So the first A is aware. So when you are sharing something on LinkedIn, you must be yourself aware about your true voice. You must know what you are sharing, what value you want to showcase your audiences, and you must know that you must understand your clients' emotional and practical pain points as well. So, by being aware, you are more likely recognizing and identifying your own voice. You are identifying what you want to showcase. Like for me, I was into trading domain, and I was also into writing. So, my passion for writing made me want to showcase myself as a finance storyteller in LinkedIn. So, I wanted to be identified as someone who helped financial content creators or traders or founders in the financial domain to help them create their identity and visibility through my contents. But then again, I really felt like writing is not something that you niche down. So I broadened my horizon. The second A is arrange. So you need to structure your voice into clear content pillars, profile clarity, and hooks. So by content pillars, I mean, what are the contents that you want to provide? Are they educational? Are they based on lifestyle? Are they viral contents? Or are they personal contents or based on personal branding or leadership? So you must be very, and it's a really good idea actually to create a mix of all the content pillars while posting, because I have seen that most of my posts that went viral were personal stories. So when you post something personal rather than educational or leadership style, people tend to connect more. They tend to resonate with your ideas. They tend to resonate with what you are sharing, with what you want to convey. And that somehow attracts, which is the third A of this framework, the right audiences. So, when you create value in your niche, you stay visible. People come to you yourself and they resonate with your ideas, they relate with your ideas, they connect emotionally with your ideas. And that is how the right clients and the potential clients, as well as your followers, are built. Then you must articulate. So, you see a problem in LinkedIn, you see a problem that you are facing, you see a problem that your founder is facing. Now, how do you articulate it? You articulate it with simple communication, with simple formulas would that everyone can use. Uh, and you must ensure that those ideas are not very salesy. They are somehow simple and easy to apply. Align. The fifth A of the framework is align. So, how do you refine your offer based on what you actually convert and not just get likes? So, you must understand that likes are a good ego boost. uh, they are okay, but I have seen, like recently I talked to a creator and he didn't really have many likes, but what he was doing was beyond imagination. What he was doing for his clients was absolutely magnificent in the best sense, because he was creating funnels and he was generating leads for his clients in a way that was actually converting. And that really doesn't have to do much with likes, because that guy really didn't have many likes or followers. But and of course inconsistency was one of the reasons, but then again he was actually generating a good amount of leads for his clients as well. So how does this 5 A's work in real client flow? So with the first A, that is aware, you must understand your voice and audiences. So in a client based scenario, you are very likely to identify your own voice as well as your audiences, because you are providing something that not everyone is willing to purchase, of course. And it's more based on research, like how you research your clients, how you research what you want to portray, or how you research what you want to give out to people, and then arrange. Now, how you understand your voice is how you will be arranging your profile and your contents, so that people have just a 3-second glance at your profile and they understand that this is what this particular service provider is providing, and this are my requirements, and he or she will be able to help me out with it. And that's how you attract the audiences, of course. That's how people come up to you. Like recently, the Indian client whom I started working with, they were the one who came to me, and they liked my profile and they wanted to work with me. So those were inbound leads actually, and those were something uh, that most people tend to ignore. Articulate. Now, you articulate or you communicate your solution in the DMs in a way that makes the other person bound to purchase your service, and in a storytelling format. Like for myself, I use a storytelling format to reflect on my stories, to reflect on my ideas, my education, and what I provide to people, and what I think about about LinkedIn or my clients or any other topic. And that is how I connect with people. That is how people understand my approaches. Then align. When you align is our custom offers, of course, you provide a clear and refined offer to your audiences. And you must understand that, those profiles must not be, and those offers must not be very pushy or salesy. So, with this, I am almost at the end of my presentation. So, I would like to conclude it by letting everyone know that turning connections into clients is not about chasing people. It is more about clarity, trust, consistency, and alignment. And when these exist, conversion becomes a natural outcome. And of course, it is not a struggle. And why is it important to remain visible in social media? Because in today's generation, you might be very skilled, you might be very highly qualified, you might have expertise in your domain. But if you are not visible, people are not going to come to you on their own. And visibility without clarity, of course, creates confusion because strategy without authenticity creates burnout. And trust is something that always comes before any transaction. And consistency is something that builds the identity. So, with this, I have almost come to an end of my session, and I am open to any questions that might come from the audiences. Thank you for being patient and uh, watching this webinar till the end. So yeah, Kushi, over to you.
Thank you, Amy, for your valuable insights. You can now stop sharing your screen. So,
Okay.
everybody, we are now open to the questions. You can post your questions in the live. So, Amy, shall we move forward with the questions?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, our first question is, what is the biggest mindset shift required to convert connections into paying clients?
Yeah, so the biggest mindset shift would definitely be trusting in yourself and your process. So when you're building your identity in LinkedIn, you must be very clear about what you're providing and you must trust the process. That is the biggest mindset shift that I have faced myself.
Okay. So, the next question is, how soon should we follow up after connecting without sounding desperate?
So I have already mentioned 3 to 5 days conversation. So when you are connecting with people on LinkedIn, make sure you engage with them first. Make sure you provide your value to their contents, and do not expect that every conversation will convert because they don't. That's something that everyone must accept. Okay, and when you're conversating, you must understand that what are their problems and how you can provide solution to those problems.
Yeah. Okay. So, our next question is, what phrases or approaches should we directly avoid when pitching?
I don't think there are certain particular phrases that must be avoided, but of course, you must understand that you have an authority over what you're building, and make sure that you're not very salesy and do not hard pitch.
Okay. Okay. So, our next question is, how do we show expertise without coming across as boastful?
Sorry.
Okay. So, how do we show expertise without coming across as boastful?
You can show your expertise. You don't really have to be boastful. Like we tend to think that when we are posting something about ourselves on LinkedIn, they might sound cringe or they might sound as showing off, but that is not true. You are doing something and you are expressing it to your audiences, and that's how trust is built, I believe.
Yeah.
And of course, you have other. And if you want a very fundamental approach, then of course there are testimonials. There are client behind the scenes that you can share.
Sure, of course. Okay, so our next question is, how can introverts effectively convert connections when outreach is challenging?
You said introvert, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so I was myself an introvert at first. So this is something very relatable because when I used to DM people, I had this thing in my mind that they are not going to purchase my service, that they will turn me down. But of course, that doesn't really happen in when you're doing that online. You just need not be pushy, and you just need to showcase a clear clarity and what solutions you are ready to provide to them.
yeah. Okay, so our next question is, what is your method for reactivating old or cold connections who stopped engaging?
Yes, this is something that most creators usually face because in LinkedIn, a lot of people tends to go inactive.
Right.
So what you can do is maybe you can DM them, and of course, inactive accounts are will not be posting. So you can just DM them and send a follow up message, and that's it. Just not be very pushy about it.
Okay, so let's take a last question. What are the first three steps you recommend right after connecting with someone new?
The first three steps would definitely be go through their profile, learn about them, research about them, what they're doing, engage with their contents, uh, send them a DM, ask them about what they do, understand them emotionally, and try to provide them with clarity. And then, of course, then you can give them a soft pitch like this is how, and of course, you need to accept it that this might not convert, and that is okay. That is a universal truth, actually.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much, Amy, for connecting with Education Nest, and thank you each and everyone who have joined us today. I really, really hope that this session helps you and your teams to use LinkedIn more efficiently, more intently to strengthen presence, build trust, and convert the right connections into meaningful opportunities, or I should say, right connections into clients. And I'm and have a great day. And we look forward to see you in our future sessions. Please do.
Thank you, Kushi.
Thank you. Please do like, share, and comment our session. And if you have any queries, you can connect to us. We will definitely get back to you. And if you have any kind of suggestion for any kind of webinar, we will definitely get back to you. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Bye.
Bye bye.